And we want to bring you back to breaking news. Greenville County leaders are holding a news conference now about the response to Helene's aftermath in the county. We want to listen in now.
Asking for the public's patience as we continue the around-the-clock hard work of recovery and power restoration for Greenville County residents. For those of you that do not have power, and you're maybe out watching this, if you don't have power at home, I want to assure you this team and hundreds of people around the county are working overtime to clear the downed trees and the debris so utility power companies can reach the lines and poles to get power back to your home. We did most of us here did a flyover yesterday, and it was amazing to me looking at Greenville County from the air how much of the county is pristine and beautiful. We've got a beautiful county, but there are pockets of Greenville County that are just devastated, and those are the ones that are having trouble getting power restored, and we're working overtime to try to work with those areas of the county. We've made tremendous progress since Friday, but there's a lot of work to do. So with that, let me just give a quick update on Greenville County operations. County offices, administration, and courts are all functioning on normal schedule. Again, we're asking residents, if your taxes are due, pay those online. We're waiving all transaction fees. There is a planning commission tonight at 4:30. And on a lighter note, there's about 2 or 3 miles of the Swamp Rabbit Trail that have been opened. If you need a mental health break or just need to get out and walk and enjoy the sun out there, there is a piece of the Swamp Rabbit Trail between Airport Road and Verde that's open for you to enjoy. With that, I'll turn it over to Jessica Stump with Greenville County Emergency Management.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a reminder that that FEMA did approve individual assistance to help Greenville County, so individuals and business owners can begin applying for assistance by registering online at www.disasterassistance.gov or by calling 1-800-621-3362 or using the FEMA app. The South Carolina Department of Insurance will have an insurance claim center set up on Thursday, October 3rd and Friday, October 4th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Home Depot at 79 Woodruff Industrial Lane in Greenville. There will be representatives from State Farm, USAA, Allstate, South Carolina Farm Bureau, auto owners, Geico, Travelers, Progressive, American Integrity, and Heritage Insurance Companies. They'll be there along with the Department of Insurance. And there will also be representatives from FEMA on site as well, so that you can register there. Just the latest update, now 50% of the county is without power, so we're slowly moving in a better direction here. Crews are continuing to be out there working on those trees, looking at the damage that's out there, assessing roads and the infrastructure. And again, I just want to thank all of our county agencies and partners, the state resources and federal resources that are here. They are really been amazing helping us get this work done. The State Forestry Commission has issued a burn ban, and this is really important for folks. We want to get this information out, which prohibits all outdoor burning, including yard debris burning. And we're doing that mainly because it's an ease on the firefighters and law enforcement personnel, because they end up getting dispatched to areas where we are seeing debris being burned. So we want to avoid having any wildfire type situations happen on top of the situation that we already have. So please heed that burn ban. Just a reminder that a point of distribution for bottled water and MREs has been set up at 35 East Antrim Drive in Greenville. That's the parking lot beside McAllister Square. It's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The shelter at Hillcrest High School remains open right now with 33 people in it. And the medical needs shelter remains open at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena, and that has currently 27 people in it. Again, as you get services restored, we encourage you to report your damage with the SC Emergency Manager app. You can find it in the App Store and on Google Play. And those looking for assistance for Helene can call here 864-467-3428 between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Use 911 for emergencies only. And also a reminder, if you're looking for non-emergency assistance, to call the United Way at 211. They do have a donation drop-off point where they are asking for folks to bring bottled water and whatnot there. So we encourage folks, if you are looking to donate non-perishable foods, pet food, diapers, hygiene products of that nature, go ahead and drop them off at the United Way. That concludes my report. I'll turn it over to Heisha Gamble now, Assistant County Administrator.
Thank you, Jessica. Teams from multiple fire agencies all over the country and the state, along with SC Forestry Commission, National Guard, and SCDOT county and municipality staffs continue to work to get our roads clear. Power lines do present a challenge, but we are slowly making progress to areas that have previously had their access cut off by downed trees. I have great news to announce. Our debris collection has officially begun and will continue to ramp up in the coming days. As a reminder, please stack your tree debris along the edge of the roadway and do not place it in bags. Do not place any trash on top of the debris piles. We will make multiple passes to every county road over the next several weeks to remove this debris. Once we have done our initial collections, we will have a better idea of when we will be going to different areas. We will continue to update the collection information and schedules as we get further along in the process. We do ask for your patience as we work out the kinks. I also just want to give a special thank you to our amazing Greenville County staff who has been working tirelessly day and night since last week, especially emergency management staff, public works, property management, information systems, vehicle services, and procurement. Everybody on these teams has risen to the occasion, and with this being such an unprecedented event, I'm just so grateful and honored to work alongside some amazing people who serve the citizens of Greenville County. That's all I have for today. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Lewis.
I think I've said this every day. We've addressed the media, and that is today's a little better than yesterday. From a crime standpoint overnight and this morning, we've certainly had a much better day. Several intersections, red lights are working this morning. Traffic is flowing a little better in Greenville County. The gas station lines are not too long. People don't seem to be flooding them today quite as much as they were yesterday. Grocery stores have had deliveries and all that has went off well. So hopefully folks that can get to the store and get to the gas station are getting the things they need. We do have some folks that still can't leave their home or their neighborhood because of downed trees, working on getting a path cleared for them this morning. We're pretty much on a routine schedule, for lack of a better term, for law enforcement on their 12-hour shifts working today. So some folks were able to get some rest and get some hot showers and some good meals. We will be assisting tomorrow, sending a crew up to Buncombe County. They'll be coordinated out of Asheville, as well as other sheriffs I talked to this morning from here in the upstate. We'll be sending some search and rescue folks and some equipment up there as there's a large recovery effort going on in that area. So we just ask you continue to pray for those folks that have lost loved ones up there in such a tragic situation. Continue to pray that we have good weather here and we never have this situation again. And we'll be glad to answer any questions here at the end of this briefing if y'all have any individual questions related to law enforcement. Other than that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Blackwell.
Thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Chairman, Tom Blackwell, Executive Director, Greenville County Emergency Medical Services. I'm proud to report and happy to report that our volumes are coming down now. So we still have 4 ambulances, 3 from Charleston, 1 from Dorchester counties that are still helping us out. We'll get them for another 48 hours. We are at call volumes about 20% over what we saw last Wednesday, but we're at equal call volumes what we saw Wednesday 2 weeks ago. So that tells me that we're coming back to normalcy, and it's exciting news for all of us. Some of the special things we're doing, we have a brand new all-terrain vehicle. We got the support from the Sheriff's Office and Emergency Management. This was paid for by Healthy Greenville, okay? And we have an ambulance all-terrain vehicle that's now deployed up in the north end of the county, working with the canine search and rescue teams from the Sheriff's Office. They're in a team. They're going up looking at welfare checks and humanitarian aid to some of those folks that are still trapped up in the northern parts of our wilderness area of Greenville County. They've been able to connect with a lot of people. There have been a lot of tears shed of families up there that had nothing. And so we've been able to provide food and water for those folks, and we'll continue with those efforts as well. Medically, those patients up there seem to be fine. The last thing, I told you yesterday about carbon monoxide poisoning. I'm going to tell you about another case that happened recently in the last 24 hours. It's tragic, and I want to alert the public to this. It's something you don't think about, but it's something that can come back to bite you hard. And that is, if you have a generator that's still going on, you're still without power, and you have your generator, hopefully you have it pointed away from the house. So the carbon monoxide, we talked about that. When your generator runs out, okay, don't immediately pour fuel back into the gas tank. Okay, an unfortunate individual did that. It ignited and set him on fire, and we had over 80% body surface area burns. That can be a fatal burn. Okay, you can't do that. You got to let your generator cool down. Do not put fuel in a running generator. Oh, the levels are getting kind of low. Let me just add some fuel so it doesn't power out. That's a wrong decision. Don't do that. Okay, let your generator run out of fuel, let it cool down, and then put your gasoline in it after that. Okay, let it cool before you refuel. You like that little thing I just came up with? Anyhow, please do that. It's very important. Okay, let it cool before you refuel. And that's all I got. So I'll turn it back over to Chairman Tripp.
Thank you. We'll open this up for any questions that you may have.
I'm with the Post and Courier. I know a couple of people have been out making their own cleanup efforts, using chainsaws, etc. Are there any concerns about people getting hurt doing their own repairs, particularly with loose power lines being down in the street? Any feedback about that?
Blackwell or Jessica?
We've been talking, the last several days. If there is a power line that is wrapped up in any sort of tree, don't touch it. We don't know if that power line's live or not, and we really don't want to have any injuries because of that. So if that's the case, if there's a line in those trees, don't touch it. Wait until the power company comes by.
But as far as you know, no one's been hurt by that?
No.
EMS has had no calls to that nature.
When do we believe that around 100% of the gas fully have power back in Greenville County?
That's a tough one. I think all the utility companies are reporting daily or within interdaily. I know as a Duke Energy customer, they said that most of their lines would be up on Friday, and their anticipation was Friday. But there's a lot of outlying areas of the county that it's gonna be hand-to-hand combat. We went up yesterday and saw some of these areas, and you get pockets of areas in the county that are just really under massive tree debris, and so some of those areas are going to take longer. We're hopeful that a lot of this is going to sort itself out in the next 24, 48 hours.
Do you think that's still a realistic timeline considering how much damage has been done?
Again, we're not a utility company here. We'd love to have them up here with us. We welcome them to come, but we're just reporting we're telling you what we're hearing.
And so what areas of the county did you guys see that were hit hardest this morning?
Yeah, it's widespread.
Yeah, it's all over. And the amazing thing is, you look at it, as a whole, and there's a lot of areas that didn't see any damage, but then you see pockets of it. And up in the north and down in the south, it's even worse. So.
Question for the sheriff. Overnight, we've seen those two separate businesses have generators stolen, Swamp Rabbit Cafe and Heyday. Is this something we're seeing? Is this a common thing that you guys have seen or heard reports of generators being stolen from businesses or homes?
I wouldn't say it's common because we're never really in this situation. But for where we are and so many people that are using generators to try to help people and open businesses so people can get food and can get fuel and do all those things, you do have scumbags who take advantage of that and see those sitting there So we don't suggest when you close that you leave them running. Dr. Blackwell just spoke about the dangers of that, refueling them while they're running and all those kind of things. But a lot of folks have been leaving them in neighborhoods and leaving them running. So, you know, the bad guy rides through the neighborhood, here's the generator running, starts looking around to see if anyone's home or whatever the case may be. We have had some stolen. So it is happening because of our situation. No different, I don't think, than any other theft. I mean, those are the same people that are breaking into cars and doing whatever. I don't, you know, it just happens to, we happen to be in a situation where people are using generators right now, and it's kind of easy prey for those that are too lazy to work, maybe. Any other questions?
More so just a general question for kind of all leadership. I know we're nearing a week of some people without power. It can be a pretty tiring ordeal for a lot of people. What's your message to folks who are kind of, you mentioned 50% still without power, who are just kind of in the fatigue of all this now?
I'll just say, as chairman of county council, I mean, you know, we are in the period, like you said, that this is going to be the roughest period to some degree because it's going to be incremental. You know, a lot of the power restoration over the last couple of days has been the low-hanging fruit. But now you're getting into areas where you're having to clear trees that are wrapped up in power lines. That's hard, long, tedious work. I think yesterday Duke sent out a message to their customers that there were 6,000 poles that had to be replaced. It takes an average pole crew, it'll take, you know, they'll be able to do about 2 to 3 poles a day. So you can imagine if you've got 6,000 down poles, how many shifts it's going to take and how many crews it's going to take on that scale. So while we are making progress and we're working around the clock to make sure things get restored, it is going to take time, and that's why we kind of came back today and said we need your patience. You know, we've got resources that are in here. We're moving people and chainsaw crews around and moving as fast as we can, but the next 24, 48 hours are going to be tedious and tough and monotonous, but please be assured that we're working overtime. You want to add to that?
No, I'll say again, it takes a lot of time with those wires that are wrapped up in those trees. You can't cut those until the utility company says they're good. We have teamed up with Duke Energy, and we have them with fire departments. So as they are grounding those wires that are wrapped up in those trees, the fire department and the utilities chainsaw crews are coming in behind, and they're cutting up those trees. So we are making an effort to kind of follow along behind them as they're doing this process.
And the McAllister Square distribution line,
Yes, sir.
Is that no end date on that yet?
At the moment, no. We're going to keep it going 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week.
I don't think I can do justice like Dr. Blackwell did with the ditty, you know, but I'll just reiterate, there are some people that want to be helpful. There's hundreds of people around the county that are out, you know, as part of a church group or, you know, social group to try to help people. Don't mess with the trees with wires in it. It's not worth it. I can't come up with a ditty to summarize that, but that's one word of caution that we give to people.
I'm full of it.
No.
Any other questions? Thank you all. We'll be back here tomorrow.
And you've been listening to Greenville County officials in the aftermath of Helene. A couple of points that they make that bear repeating. County Council Chairman Dan Tripp saying we need your patience. The next 24 to 48 hours are going to be very difficult, that we've already taken care of the low-hanging fruit when it comes to power, and now it's the tedious work of separating trees from power lines. He said that they did a flyover yesterday and that there are pockets in Greenville County that are very, very devastated, mostly in the northern and southern parts of the county. Also saying 2 to 3 miles of the Swamp Rabbit Trail is open. That's between Airport Road and Verde for people who need to get out and get a little exercise. 50% of the county now is without power, getting a little bit closer. Also important to note, no matter where you're watching from, the South Carolina Forestry Commission has issued a burn ban, no outdoor burning. Another note that is important is that Sheriff Hobart Lewis says that the Greenville County Sheriff's Office will send personnel to Buncombe County. There will be search and rescue crews and equipment from Greenville County that will be helping in Buncombe County starting tomorrow. Dr. Tom Blackwell, Executive Director of Emergency Medical Services, announced that there is a new ATV ambulance that's able to get into North Greenville. They're doing welfare checks. They're taking food and water to people who have been trapped. And he said that that is definitely going to be good news for the people there. Also, he had a big warning for people saying, let it cool before you refuel, giving an example of a man who had 80% of his body burned because he put gasoline into his generator when the generator was still hot. A big warning there from Dr. Tom Blackwell saying if you're using a generator, do not refuel it while it's running. Do not refuel it when it is still hot. Allow your generator to cool before you refuel. Also make sure it is outside and pointed away from your house. If you want to help people who are affected by Helene, we invite you to scan this QR code that you see on your screen. Right there, you can donate to the American Red Cross. They can get funds right to people in the most need. You can also find information about helping storm victims on our website, WYFF4.com, and on our mobile app. Thank you for joining us.